world. This is OU Nightly. Fear and panic rippled throughout Belgium today after 3 explosions rocked the capital's airport and subway station.
With more than 24 people dead and hundreds wounded, Brussels remains on lockdown. The attack started around 8 a.m. local time when 2 explosions ripped through Brussels airport. About an hour later, a bomb went off south of the airport at a subway station near a number of European Union institutions. Smoke filled the streets of Belgium as people rushed for safety.
I saw many injuries. I saw people dead. I saw everything broken. It's just terrible.
ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attacks.
It's well known that OU has an aggressive study abroad program that many OU students are currently taking advantage of around the world. We reach out to these students via social media to get a first-hand look on what they're going through. One of those was Kelsey Carnes, a student from Texas who is in Brussels today during the attacks. She sent us this photo taken from her hotel balcony showing empty streets and roads blocked off. She told us Brussels wasn't a safe place to choose at this point in time, and if I had done some research, I would have seen that. I'm off to my next location, Amsterdam. We also communicated with another OU student from Texas, Savannah Nichols, who is in Spain. She told us it's even more scary being in a different country, out of my comfort zone and away from my loved ones back home. I'm also sad for all the people who have lost loved ones in the attacks today. And finally, Kelsey Reynolds from Oklahoma, who's in Denmark, said, "My parents are worried they cannot protect and shelter me forever. They just want me to be aware of the surroundings and check all travel notices."
Back here on campus, we found that OU students are watching what's happening in Belgium. They're expressing concerns about the violence abroad and well aware that we're not immune from terror here at home.
This could happen even in America. You're not safe anywhere, so I feel like you might as well live your life without, fear.
I mean, it's already scary enough to have to leave your own country where you're comfortable. And I mean, it's like little things you take for granted, and then think about that kind of stuff happening. It's a lot to take on.
Where I'm going is pretty good distance away, and that with the OU campus in Arezzo, they keep us really safe, and they're really on top of what's going on over there.
While obviously worried, the students we spoke with do not plan to change their study abroad plans anytime soon.
And we'll have much more information on the developing Belgium attacks later on in the newscast.
Let's take a break from all the chaos going on around the world and look at the weather here at home. Kylie?
That's right, guys. We started off mild this morning temperature-wise, but as we moved on throughout the rest of the afternoon, temperatures did increase into the 70s and the 80s throughout the majority of the state. But the story of the day is how strong that wind was. Right now, we're looking at wind gusts from the south at about 21 miles per hour. Here in Norman, we saw gusts at about 40 miles per hour, as well as the rest of the state. Now, that does raise a concern for fire danger the rest of tonight and into tomorrow, but I'll have more on that in just a second. Current temperatures outside right now, quite warm, 70 here in Norman, 73 in Oklahoma City. We will stay warm throughout the rest of the evening and into tomorrow. Coming up next, I'll have a look at our fire danger right now and the watches and warnings that are coming with it. Lots of sunshine ahead too, but for right now, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kylie. And late last night, a car crash on Highway 9 just east of Norman leaves 4 people dead. The 2-car collision happened in eastern Cleveland County near 156th Avenue. The cars collided head-on, killing the driver and 2 passengers of one vehicle, as well as the other driver of the other vehicle. Police shut down the highway to investigate the deadly car accident, but it's since been reopened. The names of those victims have not yet been released.
Workers have resumed the task of expanding OU's Memorial Stadium after they stopped construction yesterday because of an accident. Luckily, there were no apparent injuries when the top end of a huge crane broke off and fell to the ground. But even with everyone safe, the project was shut down for the day. The contractor in charge of the multi-million-dollar job declined to comment about the accident. Same for OU administrators, who have not responded to our request for information. The project is on a breakneck schedule to be completed by the opening game of the fall football season.
Well, still ahead to come on OU Nightly. We'll keep you updated on the attacks in Belgium as they develop.
Plus, Oklahoma public schools finally get a break. Stay with us.
And Sammy still joins us now in the News Center with the latest on what's going on on the attacks in Belgium. Sammy?
Rashida, earlier today, President Obama, speaking in Cuba, addressed the deadly terrorism attacks in Brussels, Belgium. He vowed the U.S. will continue to go after ISIS in Iraq and Syria.
We will do whatever is necessary to support our friend and ally Belgium in bringing to justice those who are responsible. And this is yet another reminder that the world must unite. We must be together.
The president returns to the U.S. from Cuba tomorrow. And presidential candidates also came forward and released statements condemning the attacks. Donald Trump tweeted out his condolences for the victims in Brussels and said that the madness must be stopped. Hillary Clinton said in her statement that the United States must remain alert and that defeating the terrorist threat should be a top priority.
The terrorist threat, and that's, to me, our highest priority going forward.
Bernie Sanders, Ted Cruz, and John Kasich also released statements. Immediately following the attacks, Brussels went on lockdown. All flights were canceled, public transportation shut down, and residents were told to stay inside. Security measures have been amped up beyond just the city of Brussels. In the United States, cities across the nation increased security. The Metro Transit Authority in Washington, D.C. will increase canine sweeps and police patrols. And airports across the country, including Atlanta, Boston, and Los Angeles, bumped up security measures in the wake of the attacks. Officials have revealed details that at least 9 Americans were wounded in the deadly explosions, with one of the victims identified as a member of the U.S. military. And Belgian police have released CCTV footage of 3 men suspected of carrying out the attack. The video shows 3 unidentified men pushing trolleys with suitcases past the airport check-in area, 2 of whom are wearing black gloves on their left hands. None of the suspects have been identified. That's what's happening around the world. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Sammy. Well, something a little closer to home. Shay is here with what's going on in the Oklahoma legislation.
Thank you, Rashida. Attorney General Scott Pruitt, to no one's surprise, disagrees with yesterday's Supreme Court decision on Oklahoma-Nebraska effort to declare Colorado's pot laws unconstitutional. Pruitt says he was hopeful the U.S. Supreme Court would exercise its original jurisdiction to address the unwillingness of President Obama's Justice Department to do its job. The AG says Oklahoma will continue to utilize every law enforcement tool available to ensure that the flow of illegal drugs into our state is stopped. Today, the GOP state representative Mike Ritz disagreed with Pruitt. He applauds the High Court's decision. Ritz says we live in a federalist society that protects state sovereignty, and the decision was a victory for people who believe in states' rights. And 2 years ago, Common Core was thrown out of Oklahoma schools, and yesterday, the House of Representatives came together to set a new set of standards for the education system in the Sooner State. The House of Representatives passed 3 new bills that they say will help benefit the education system. The House passed the $51 million supplemental fund bill that was given specifically to the education system. That large sum is enough to get through the remaining school year without making any more budget cuts in the system. You guys, I know that Oklahoma especially has been hit time after time with budget cuts. It's nice to finally see that they're getting, you know, it's being made a little easier.
Finish the school year at least.
Exactly.
Yeah, great.
Well, thanks, Shay.
And most people don't think twice about opening doors or getting on elevators. But Nightly's Emily Akins shows us that for some OU students, the everyday tasks of life can be far more difficult.
Recently, construction has popped up all around campus, which seems like a real inconvenience for most, especially when trying to make class times. But things are extremely inconvenient for people like Dalton Blevins, who says he can't even make it out of the door the first try.
I have Like, I can open doors with my hands if I need to, but honestly, it's a pain and it's time consuming, you know, especially crunching in between classes.
The handicap button to open doors of buildings across campus are just one of many problems for disabled students. Elevators, parking, and even construction zone sidewalk areas seem to be huge inconveniences for them.
OU does a great job in the classroom, like I said. It's just getting to and from that's an issue because they don't, at least in my experience, they don't really keep up with the button maintenance.
Although the OU Disability Resource Center has certain accommodation procedures to follow, Blevin says putting in a request for these large buildings can take a while.
The maintenance on them they're not kept up.
The Resource Center says that one of their main goals is to evaluate these individuals based on their ability, not their disabilities, and hopes to keep moving forward, accommodating students however they need. Emily Akins, OU Nightly.
For more information or questions on OU disability procedures, contact Shelley Guttery with the OU Disability Resource Center.
And still ahead on OU Nightly, Stephen Kabler is letting us know how the Sooners are surviving in the Sweet 16.
And Kylie Capps is here with a look at the weather.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Kylie Capps. This is OU South Oval. A little earlier today, landscapers were busy planting flowers. And with a little luck, these plants will be in full bloom by the time graduation rolls around. So in about 7 weeks. And it was a nice but windy day here in Norman today. If you take a look at our relative humidity map, relative humidity values are very low for this time of year and for the state of Oklahoma. We're only sitting at about a 44% relative humidity here right now in Norman. And as you move further west out into the panhandle, those values are even lower. With that, fire danger is our greatest concern today, into tonight, and into tomorrow. That simply means that there's just not a lot of moisture in the air. So if fire were to spark, it will be hard to contain. So again, fire danger for the rest of this week. It's going to be very high on Thursday, drop down just a little bit on Friday because we are expecting a slight cold front to move through the area. Now, right now, our current watches and warnings, we are in a red flag warning until about 9 p.m. Now, a red flag warning simply means that the conditions are there for fire danger. So low relative humidity values, high wind speeds, and high temperatures. We are expecting that to stick around until about 9 p.m. tonight. We're also in a wind advisory. As you can see outside, it is very windy again, gusting at about 40 miles per hour here in Norman right now. Now, for the rest of the evening, we are expecting to see some clouds start to roll in. Those winds still will stay with us from the south, about 25 to 30 miles per hour. We will get a little bit cooler the rest of this evening, only at about 64 though tonight at midnight, and again those winds will stay with us. Now for the rest of the state, we're looking at a low tonight of about 59 degrees. Out in the panhandle, they are going to cool down just a little bit as the cold front does start to creep through the area. Normal for this time of year is 43 degrees, so we are going to hang very high above that normal value as well. So fairly consistent for the lows throughout the rest of the state. Now, tomorrow's highs, we are going to warm up quite nicely. Once again, 76 is a high here in Norman. Again, cooler out in the panhandle as you move farther east too. We will start to warm up just a bit as that cold front hasn't quite made its way into the rest of the state. Now, looking at my 7-day forecast, again, we're going to be quite windy tomorrow, and that fire danger is going to be very high. Now, on Thursday, we are expecting that slight cold front to move through, so we're looking at a low of about 38. Friday, again, will warm up again. Lows will stay fairly low and consistent. Now, clouds I am expecting to see start to roll in on Saturday and Sunday. Again, we'll drop just a little bit on Sunday as our next chance of rain will start to move through. Only about a 40% chance of rain right now, and I am expecting that to stay around that value. It is a little early to tell exactly what we are expecting to see on Sunday. We'll warm up quite nicely again at the beginning of next week. Lots of sunshine. But guys, it's looking to be a really great weekend ahead of us.
Well, I'm glad that this humidity is going to stay down. That'll help my hair out some.
I think it'll help all of us.
The humidity, though, I didn't even do my hair till we got into the studio today because of the wind. I wasn't even going to mess with that.
Walking across campus this morning, it was a mess.
Great. Thank you so much, Kylie.
And Stephen is going to be here and telling us what's going on with the Sooners and how they're planning on staying alive in this March Madness. Stephen?
That's right, Rashida. The Sweet 16 is here, and Buddy and the boys are cutting it foot loose. I'll tell you about it next. Sports is around the corner. Welcome to OU Nightly Sports. I'm Stephen Cavler. The Oklahoma Sooners are still dancing, and boy, is it sweet. Buddy Hield and company defeated Cal State Bakersfield and Virginia Commonwealth in virtual home games in Oklahoma City over the weekend. Now they take their talents to Anaheim for a Sweet 16 matchup against the Texas A&M Aggies, who had a miraculous comeback against Northern Iowa to claim their spot in Cali. The Sooners were excited to punch their ticket to the Sweet 16, but didn't celebrate too much because, according to them, they still have business to handle.
We've been here before, and so the past is out of the way now, and now we realize we got to, if we want to, leave a legacy, we got to win Thursday, and so get better these next couple days.
But number one, you want them to enjoy the experience. You want them to enjoy and appreciate the opportunity, and yet remind them that, hey, it's going to be tougher on Thursday. And the guys know that. They again, that's part of their maturity and experience.
The game is slated to tip off around 6:30 March 24th. And unfortunately, Sherry Cole and company lost yesterday to Kentucky 58-79 in the round of 32, ending their season. The Sooners finished the season 22-11 overall and 11-7 in Big 12 play. Over in Stillwater, the basketball season ended abruptly after the Big 12 tournament, leaving the Cowboys looking for a new head coach. Travis Ford is out, and Brad Underwood era begins. OSU picks up Underwood from Stephen F. Austin, who upset West Virginia in the first round of the NCAA tournament and came a tip-in away from clinching a spot in the Sweet 16. The United States made history today with the president stepping foot on Cuban soil. And adding to the historic day, the Tampa Bay Rays took on the Cuban national team in Havana for the first baseball game played in Cuba since 1999. And of course, President Obama attended the game. Now taking a look at that game which just ended, the Rays beat the Cuban national team 4-1. And finally, after their loss to the Spurs on Saturday, the Warriors got back on track to 73, but it did not come easy. The Bayside boys went to Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves, and it was a battle. The T-Wolves kept it close all game, with Karl Anthony Towns posting 24 points and Andrew Wiggins adding 25. But the Splash Brothers and Draymond Green came to play, scoring a combined 60 points, and the Warriors led the Warriors over the T-Wolves 109-104. The Warriors need to finish the season 10-2 to eclipse the single-season wins record of 72. Oh, and in other NBA news today, the Thunder take on the Mavericks tonight at 7 o'clock at the Peak. Big game. James Harden back in town.
Wow.
You know, the Thunder always like playing well against him, and they're trying to pick up some more wins before the season's over.
Right. People, even though he's changed teams, people always want to see James Harden. He's always an exciting player to watch.
They do.
I want to know, though, about the Warriors. What do you think their chances are of breaking that record?
They've got a few more games coming up against some tough competition, but they've been lights out all night, all season. And I think personally that they'll get it. They'll get it done.
Great.
Well, I'm excited to see KD play Harden again tonight.
Thanks, Stephen.
Well, still to come on OU Nightly, we'll have another look at the 5-day forecast.
Be hit hard in their pockets.